What's going on, guys? Welcome back to BlackTideTV. Over the last couple of days, we've been going through the best and worst aspects of Call of Duty Black Ops 3 multiplayer on this channel. And in today's video, I'd like to sum that all up. I'd like to give you guys my final thoughts, my final impressions of this game, talk about what's going to be memorable, what's going to be forgotten, and I've kind of made a list here. I've compiled a list of the iconic elements of Call of Duty, so weapons, maps, score streaks, and we're going to talk about which of each of those categories is going to live on from this game, what we're going to remember when we look back on Black Ops 3, and I've also added a bunch of other categories that we're going to talk about, the things that I think made this game in particular, well, the things about this game in particular that will be memorable. They didn't make the game memorable because a lot of them are bad things, and then at the end I'm going to give you a total rank, and I'm going to tell you guys where it fits on my list of the best Call of Duty games, like from top to bottom, what the best Call of Duty game is to the worst Call of Duty game. I'll tell you guys where this game ranks for me. So starting off with weapons, I found that the weapons in this game were mostly ripoffs. Like, not a lot of them were very memorable. Not a lot of them were new and fresh. There were some kind of wacky weapons like the Pharaoh or something where it's like a 4-round burst, but there weren't enough of those kind of wacky weapons, and for the most part they were ripoffs. Like, for example, Vesper is just a reskinned Scorpion from Black Ops 2. M8A7 was just a reskin, well, not even barely reskinned M8A1 from Black Ops 2. There was just so many weapons that were ripped directly out of previous Black Ops games that there wasn't enough, that they didn't bring enough to the table this time around for weapons. Apart from the DLC weapons, or I don't even really want to call them DLC weapons, that apart from the black market weapons, there wasn't really anything super unique that will warrant my remembering when I look back on this game. Moving into maps, I found the maps not to be incredibly memorable. They were kind of bland, they were very simple, like 3 lanes, like 9 out of 10 maps in this game were 3 lanes. And a lot of them were left out of rotation. A lot of the bigger maps that I tend to enjoy more in Call of Duty were left out of rotation for most of this game. Instead, it was mostly stuff like Combine. For like 90% of this game, all you played was Combine, and well, Combine, everyone I know doesn't like it. I know very little people that actually really enjoy Combine, so I don't know how that game got to, or that map got to be played so often. But most of the people I know dislike Combine. So if you look back and you say, "Oh, this is the game that introduced Combine," well, is that a good thing? Not really, because not a lot of people really like that map. And it was the most popular map until the resurgence of Nuketown, which is just so old and dried out. Like, if you put another Nuketown in your game, Call of Duty, we're gonna have words, because that is all kinds of fucked up. Because we've played this map like 3 years in a row. It's the same with Terminal on the Infinity Ward side of things. Like, Terminal's coming back for Infinite Warfare. It's getting kind of old. It's like, stop bringing back old maps. Like, give us something fresh and new, something that we can have. Give us an iconic map for the future, a map that can come back a couple more times in the future, but make it new for once. And don't make it Combine. Score streaks, there was a wide selection. A lot of them were bored, like most of the score streaks were bored from previous games, but the Wraith and Raps will likely survive. They were kind of iconic. You'd see them a lot, and I think they're pretty memorable. Like, the Wraith was a pretty neat kind of version of an attack helicopter. It was definitely a little bit different how it kind of turned invisible, and then the Raps were, well, what can be said about the Raps? They just destroyed everything. So now we're moving into the things that I found made this game unique, starting with the specialists. Black Ops 3 will be remembered as the Call of Duty game that introduced the specialist system. Whether that's a good or bad thing in the long run of the series, well, that's yet to be seen. They are bringing back a specialist type kind of selection for Infinite Warfare, the combat rigs, and those are actually a little bit more advanced than the specialists in this game. Is it good that specialists are now a mainstay in the Call of Duty series? Are they a mainstay? Will Sledgehammer have specialists as well? It's yet to be seen. Is it a good thing or a bad thing that they're in the series? It's yet to be seen, but they worked really well in Black Ops 3. They seem to look like they're going to work well in Infinite Warfare, and I'd like to actually see the specialists return for future Call of Duty games. I think the specialist system worked, and this game will be remembered as the first game to kind of, will be the game that kicked off the specialist system, and this game changed Call of Duty for good. Speaking of changing Call of Duty for good, this game introduced a different movement system. Advanced Warfare had a very strange movement system. It was the first that got us boots off the ground, and we were boosting around, jumping up in the air. Black Ops 3 changed that movement to a slower, deliberate pace, but it's still futuristic. It's still kind of jumpy and weird. So it had a colossal impact on Infinite Warfare's development. Infinite Warfare now has the same type of movement system, and the entire series from this point on, as far as we know, is going to have the same movement system. I don't know if Advanced Warfare 2, if that's what Sledgehammer's working on, is going to have Advanced Warfare's movement system, or if they're going to move into this system. I'm not really sure, but this is the year that we kind of noticed as a community that looks like we're going into the future with our Call of Duty games. Advanced Warfare, we kind of thought, okay, maybe it's an outlier. We're going back to Black Ops next year. We're going to be back to boots on the ground. And then this game came out and it was completely different. And we're like, well, shit. Looks like we're going to the future now. Is that good or bad? Well, it depends on the player. The black market is what defined this game. This is the number one thing that people are going to look back on when they see Black Ops 3, and they're going to go, this is the game where the black market took over and ruined everyone's lives. This is the game that turned Call of Duty into a microtransaction-infested shit show. Activision has seen the profits from the black market, and they will never go back. We will always have some type of black market in our games from this point forward. The stupidity of the community for spending millions and millions and millions of dollars on CoD points will eventually mean the downfall of Call of Duty as we know it. And it all started in this game. That's what people are going to look back on when they see this game. They're going to be like, yep, this is the game where the black market took over and where you had to pay money to get anything in the game. And it's all downhill from this point. The infrastructure, I can't stop mentioning the freaking infrastructure in this game, because every single time I play this game, it impacts me. The worst Call of Duty ever made for infrastructure, for simple menu tasks like joining friends or getting match made into a lobby. This was the worst Call of Duty of all time. Let's talk about campaign and zombies really quickly before I give you my total rank. Campaign was long and arduous, it was fragmented, it was hard to follow, and it had absolutely nothing to do with previous Black Ops campaigns. There was no similar characters, there was no similar timelines, there was no similar anything. I don't know why it was Black Ops 3. This should have been a completely different series or something, because it had nothing to do with Black Ops 1 and 2. So I don't know what else to say. Like, the campaign was widely unliked in this game. I rarely found people that said they enjoyed the campaign in this. In my opinion, this was the worst Call of Duty campaign ever made. Zombies, well, there's nothing but love for zombies here. Zombies is forever going to be a great mode. It continued in the path of previous games, and it birthed my favorite map and gameplay elements of zombies so far, which was Der Eisendrock and building the bows. I really enjoyed that. So my total rank for Black Ops 3, I gave it like a 6 out of 10, roughly. It's the third from the bottom on my list of Call of Duty games, but like right over Advanced Warfare, and then under that is World at War, just because I never really played World at War, so I can't give a good enough review on that game. But this game, I gotta say it isn't a bad game, and I enjoyed my time playing it. I spent a lot of time playing it. It was one of my most played Call of Duties of all time. The company just made a lot of poor choices in comparison to previous games, and that kind of sucks. You're gonna look back on this game and you're gonna see the bad of this game, not the very small amount of good. That is it for my video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Tell me what you think of Black Ops 3 in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.